procession, and we are in the burial, and this is the first part of the burial. As we have discussed the last time regarding the prayer on the deceased, and I would like just to emphasize the last point that we have done, which was that it is not permissible to pray on the janaza on the 3 times which is mentioned, and that is, those are the 3 times. They are when the sun is rising, and when the sun is setting, and also when the sun is approaching the dhuhr time, just about the first 10 to 15 minutes before dhuhr kicks in. And then we said that the person needs to wait for him to pray the prayer. He should not pray in these times. And also these 3 times that we're going to see as well discuss, it is important to know that we're not supposed to bury the deceased in those times. Now, there is some narrations there, I would like to mention them before I go ahead with the burial, which is Imam Malik narrates in his Muwatta that Zainab bint Abi Salama, she had died. Zainab bint Abi Salama, she had died, and the person who was the mayor of the Medina was Tariq. So when her janazah was brought, it was after Fajr. That means after the prayer of the Fajr. And she was put into the Baqi', that means in the Musalla, which is next to the cemetery. And Tariq, he was the mayor of the Medina, he used to make the prayer of the Fajr as early as possible. We call it Taghlis in Arabic. Taghlis meaning at the beginning of the Fajr, he makes the prayer. Basically, Ibn Abi Harmala, who is the narrator of the hadith, he said, I've heard Abdullah ibn Umar saying to the people of the deceased, saying that either you pray the janazah now, that means before the sun is rising, or you wait until the sun had risen. That means you cannot pray within the time when the sun is rising. So either you pray now, and we know for a fact that praying the normal prayer after Fajr, after you pray Fajr, is one of those times which is prohibited. When the prohibition of praying the normal prayer is not just when the sun is setting, when the sun is rising, and when the zenith, and when also the sun is going to yellowish. Okay, those are the 4 times, but also to pray the normal prayer after you prayed the Fajr. You're not supposed to, if you prayed, for example, your Fajr prayer, then you cannot pray until after the sunrise by 2 meters above the horizon, which is, we say, about 15 minutes again after sunrise. So the times that we're not allowed to be praying, those are the following 5 times. When the sun is meridian, which is 15 minutes before dhuhr kicks in. When the sun is setting. When the sun becomes yellow as well, it's not time for prayer. And also when the sun is setting, and also when after Fajr, again, let me just do it again, when the sun is about 15 minutes before the dhuhr kicks in, and when the sun is setting, when the sun is yellow, I should say that before that, because the sun is yellow, becomes before the sun setting, yellow, and when the sun is rising, and also before that time, this is after Salatul Fajr until the sun is rising, and also is prohibited. But for prayer of the janazah, no problem. The prayer of the janazah, you could pray after Salatul Fajr, but you cannot pray when the sun is rising. You cannot pray in the 15 minutes before dhuhr. You cannot pray when the sun is setting. You could pray when the sun is yellow, but you cannot pray the janazah when the sun is setting. Those you could say about 3-4 minutes, because the sun rises in 2-3 minutes. Same thing, sun is setting in 3-2 minutes. Okay, so those are the times are not allowed for you to pray, and the sun as well before dhuhr is about 15 minutes. Those are the times are not allowed to pray your janazah prayer. Also, Malik, he narrates from Abdullah ibn Umar, he said the janazah to be prayed after Asr, no problem. And also after Salat al-Fajr, no problem, is if the Fajr and the Asr were prayed to their time, meaning at the beginning of their time. So if you pray to Asr late and the sun is about to set after this, you're not allowed to pray the janazah. And also if you pray the Fajr just before the sun is gonna kick off for rising, you're not supposed to pray the janazah because the sun will be rising. Also, Al-Bayhaqi narrates with authentic chain that Ali radiyallahu anhu, he said, a janaza was being put in the cemetery of Ahl al-Basra, and the sun was yellowish. So the sun is just about to set. So he did not pray until the sun. So this is yellowish here means like the sun is like, it's about setting, like the red zone, I should say. And he did not pray on it until the sun had set. And he called Abu Barza to call the person who calls for the prayer, and he made the prayer. And Abu Barza, he offered the prayer straight after Maghrib, and in the people there was Anas radiallahu anhu. Abu Barza is from the Ansar, of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here he says, Al-Khattabi, regarding these issues, he says, and the people, means the scholars, had differed regarding the permissibility of praying of the janazah, and also regarding the burial, which we're going to be talking about the burial in these times, in these 3 zones. So most of the scholars, they said it is disliked to pray in these times. And this is the saying of Ata and Al-Nakhai, Al-Awza'i, Al-Thawri, and also the ones who are followers of Abu Hanifa and Ahmad and Ishaq. As for the Imam al-Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi, he says no problem to pray and to bury at any time, whether during the day or during the night, but the ahadith are against him. Now we come to the burial.